The next speaker.
Thank you everyone for making it. I think what this has highlighted is clearly a lot of people are not happy with the council's decision. For those that are not aware why we're here, I thought I'd take a couple of minutes to explain. On the 4th of August, the Hillingdon Council announced the closure of 3 council nurseries. Now they support 102 children, or supported rather, and there's 29 staff members, all of which have been put at risk. That news came as a great shock, not just to my family, but also everyone around here. One of the things that I think was most troubling was there was no consultation about that decision. No questions as to what is the impact on the community. Are private nurseries able to cater to the requirements we have of our children? So after that news, we asked ourselves, how can you make such a decision with no scrutiny? Because you're effectively marking your own homework, really. So one of the major asks I think we have as parents, and thank you for the supporting acts as well, that's much appreciated. The council really needs to review that decision. There's just no way. We don't think it's possible that our requirements and the broader community requirements can be catered to. So why does the council? We've tried speaking to other nurseries. We've done surveys with parents, and the surveys are telling us that the nurseries are not able to cope. One of the bits that frustrates me most is the council says we will help parents and they can use the family information service. All that does is highlight how unaffordable other nurseries are in the area. I've been told to hold this closer because you can't hear me in the back. So I think one of the major things is, if the council had arrived at that decision after having done and explored every option, I think we would be more at peace with it. But I think the major frustrating thing is there has been no consultation, no genuine ask, and there seems to be underlying reasons as to why they've done this that they're simply not sharing. So thank you. I'm going to bore you for a lot longer, by the way, so don't clap. I suppose all that I ask of you is please be present in the campaign, please contribute. Expect the worst, or rather prepare for the worst, and let's make sure that we've got a better outcome for the families of this community. And let's keep fighting for the right to have affordable childcare, reasonable childcare, but also a council that cares about the children in the borough and the families. I think I've said enough words. I'm going to pass you on to Alex, who's a parent from South Orest.
Can everyone hear me okay? Yeah. Okay. Thank you everyone for coming. It's an incredible show of support. I have to say, we couldn't have hoped for a better attendance based on our expectations. This is my daughter, it's good timing that she's somewhat interrupting me. My daughter went through the nursery at South Ruislip. We effectively got moved to that nursery because my wife and I are NHS key workers, and in the lockdowns, as many of you will know, in the lockdowns in 2020, there were very few private settings that were open to key workers. And South Ruislip Nursery, Uxbridge and Nestles, they all stayed open throughout the pandemic, regardless, and look how healthy they are now, regardless of the circumstances that might have put staff in. They still stayed open, and they were the only option for a lot of key workers to house their kids to ensure that we could provide frontline services. The council are now, I feel, betraying the hard work and the dedication of these incredibly experienced staff in these specialist built settings by closing these nurseries using special urgency measures, which effectively means they can bypass consultation and scrutiny from the community when that is good practice. It's written about that. Shame on them indeed. It's not difficult to engage with parents and engage with the community about finding solutions to keep good public services open. And if these are lost, then they will be lost, and it's very likely they'll be lost for good. It's really difficult to reclaim these settings once they are effectively privatised. The experience I wanted to talk about, not only the fact that these were the only settings that were open during the lockdowns in the pandemic, but that the experience of the staff in these settings and their training to be able to help children with complex physical health and learning disability needs is second to none. You're not going to, all credit to private settings. I don't want to do them an injustice, but they're going to struggle to meet the calibre of the staff in these three settings. Some of them have got decades of childcare experience, and they're going to be, sadly it looks like, many of them are going to be made redundant. I don't think redeployment is an option for all of them, certainly. So you're not just losing these specialist settings, these purpose-built, beautiful gardens and wonderful buildings that are likely, they said in the report, these assets are going to be disposed of. Two of the assets, i.e. Uxbridge and Nestles, are going to be sold, and the worry, and I think you should all keep scrutiny of this, if we can't scrutinise their decision. Look at what they do with these buildings. Are they going to turn them into more flats? Are they going to sell them to property developers? Look at Nestles and look at Uxbridge. What's going to happen to those beautiful buildings that are purpose-built to be nursery settings? My worry is they're going to be sold off to property developers and turned into flats. That would be an absolute travesty, considering we've got excellent staff and an excellent setting. And one last thing, my nursery, the staff in these settings have been praised time and again by Hillingdon People, the very magazine that the council puts out. They've praised them time and again, and then in the same breath they're closing them. But my nursery, South Ruislip Nursery, was visited in November 2021 for a photo shoot from Boris Johnson MP. He was there in November, he took photos with the staff. Many of the councillors have also visited these settings, and now they're closing them in less than a year with no consultation or scrutiny with the community. Are these settings just a photo op, or do they really care about the community and the exceptional services that they provide? So let's fight as hard as we can. We're going to be in there asking them questions. We've had submissions from all of the people involved in the campaign, so we'll be putting it to them. Let's see what they come up with, and we're going to keep the momentum going. We've got other ideas in the pipeline to keep putting pressure on them. So do stay involved on the Facebook group. Feel free to message any of the main people involved, like myself, Orest, Marta, Beatrice, some amazing people that have been involved, and many of the councillors that have helped us too. So some of the councillors have been great. I'm going to hand over to somebody else who's been really pivotal in helping us as well, and that's John McDonnell, the MP for Hayes, where one of the nurseries is.